Welcome to the Atomic Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Osborn. And on this podcast, we interview successful business owners for them to share atomic, impactful lessons that they've learned throughout the course of their business so that we can all learn from them as well. As always, this show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way established businesses are creating a reliable acquisition channel of conversations with their ideal prospects. We use this method to book 26 qualified leads and sales calls in 10 days without any ad spend, outreach, endless social media posting, or any of those old, ineffective traditional marketing methods everybody hates. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn, have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. The link to that will be in the show notes below. But on today's show, I'm excited to have Jason Branch. He is the owner of J. Branch and Associates, where he provides executive performance coaching. So, Jason, thanks so much for being on the show today. And I want to start off by asking you a question that I always love to start off with, which is this. If you were able to go back to when you first started in business, but knowing what you know now, what would you do different in the first 12 months?
Excellent question. And off the top, hire a coach. That would be the first thing I would do if I could go back and turn the hands of time. I would hire a coach because having a coach gave me um, some information to help me do things a lot faster. So hiring a coach gave me some insights, some instructions, some systems, some processes that I didn't know that I wasn't aware of. And that kind of take my business to a whole nother level.
Yeah. I love the answer to that question. I mean, obviously people answer that in so many different ways, but that answer, having a coach, I think in a lot of ways, people theoretically know that, they're, like, yeah, I should hire a coach, but often they don't do that. They might feel a little bit stuck, particularly if they're getting started in business. Well, maybe they may not have the revenue to do that. Or if they've been in business for a while, I've worked with a coach before and just, maybe they got to a certain level and they need to have a different coach. So the reason why I'm saying all that is to ask you this question, Jason. What are some of the key things that someone should be looking for in a coach based on where they are right now in their business or life? Depending if it's a business coach or some sort of like personal life coach, what should they be looking for to not just get a coach for the sake of it, but to actually have a tremendous impact for the results they're wanting to achieve?
Yeah, for me, it'll be fit. Finding a coach that's a good fit. And to me, having a good fit is what is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I want? Who do I work well with? Um, what qualities or strengths that this person has? So it's finding someone who has the ability to help you help yourself. And that's what I look for when I'm looking for a coach. And also when I look at people and business, is looking at the balloon and string. I do a lot of analogies and metaphors, kind of my thing. So I'm a balloon person. A balloon person, you've got one hand to the sky, they're floating, they're out here, they're visionary, they're all over the place in a great way. And then you have string people. String people, detail, system, structure, and one foot on the ground always, which means both of those two pillars, different arenas, any of us can be at any time. And it's definitely a spectrum as well. But the greatest thing I love about the balloon and string is when you tie the two together, there's nothing you can't do. So as a balloon person, I'm looking for a string coach, somebody that can give me some systems, some processes to help me bring myself down to a place to get some things done, to increase revenue, and to change the aspect of my career related to business. So that's what I look for when it comes to coaching. So finding a good fit really helps you propel and excel throughout your career.
Now, what a great analogy as well. I've never heard that one before. I think that's really, I've heard a lot of analogies, but that's a great one where it very visually helps you see like, okay, if you are that visionary person, you can get lost in the clouds,
Yes.
forget the process. But if you're very process driven, sometimes you need someone to go, okay, let's look up a little bit and be beyond
Exactly.
just getting so focused in. That's awesome. I love that.
Exactly.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
as you've grown your business, what's one of the key things that you've done to help you in terms of building the relationships needed to create lead flows, clients, ongoing referrals? What's some of the biggest lessons or things you've done to create those sorts of relationships?
For me, it's three parallels. Everything that I do relates to three parallels. Three parallels is who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. So for me, as humans, we all got our stuff. Everybody has it. I don't care who you are, where you are, you have your stuff. And sometimes your stuff gets in the way of your success. So for me, it's being able to recognize who I am and who I am not, and doing things that I've never done before in order to get results I never received. So I feel like it's personal more than anything, and finding out what are my limitations, what are my barriers, what is this imposter syndrome I may have, in order to have confidence to do more, to ask more questions, to get more leads, to put myself in position to win by taking more risks. So that's me. That's all on me. And I feel as though for a lot of people, entrepreneurs and people in business, their own personal stuff or beliefs or ideas about themselves may prevent them from being able to stretch and go further to connect with people, places, and things in order to increase and generate more business.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, such good stuff, man. When you look at the business, one of the questions I always love to ask, and I'll give you a little bit of context to this.
Mhm.
We all go through stuff. And as you being an executive coach, we all go through things, particularly if you're an owner in the business, it can be lonely. There's challenges. We can
Mhm.
think, why am I doing this? Sometimes am I the only one?
Mhm.
And I like to normalize that a bit so we all can just talk about these things and go, okay, gosh, that sounds familiar. I've been there. I'm not the only one. So, having said all that, what's the number one biggest challenge that you've faced in your business so far? And it can be in any area of the business, but what's the number one biggest challenge you faced so far? And what's the lesson that you've learned from that?
Man, phenomenal question. I would say the biggest challenge is making mistakes early and learning from them. And how I did things before was I would make a mistake. I'm beating myself up. I'm getting stuck in what I could have did, what I should have did, what I would have did, and not able to make progress. So to me, it's making a change or a shift. And that shift is a mistake isn't a bad thing. A mistake is an opportunity to learn. And the reason for this barrier was my black and white thinking. I used to think very black and white, what's right or wrong, good, bad, either I'm great or I'm horrible. And I had to shift that. Again, going back to what's going on for me, I had to shift that. So I no longer live this life of win or lose. I live a life of win or learn. And if I'm winning and
Mm.
learning, I never lose. Jason, I haven't lost in a long time
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
of this perspective. That's the difference. Make mistakes and make them early. The earlier you make them, the more you can make some changes in order to do things different and not getting stuck in the things that I didn't know, that I wasn't aware of, or ways that I made a mistake. That's what really helped my career in a lot of different ways, and being okay with making mistakes. Because for many of us, especially if I don't have a coach, if I've never seen this before, don't have the pedigree in it, a lot of us are learning in real time. We're figuring it all out as we go.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. It's such an amazing thing where we can start looking at things being lessons as opposed to failures. Um,
Exactly.
and what the other thing that I found around this is that there's levels of it as well. Like you get to a certain
Mhm.
point, you're like, okay, yeah, it's cool, and then you kind of what I call you level up in business or in life,
Mhm.
and you deal with a whole nother set of challenges, and you have to remind yourself of that lesson. Like, okay, this isn't a
Yes.
failure; it's actually a lesson, but it's not always easy, you know.
Yes.
But it's
Absolutely.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
When you look at where you are right now, and this may be a little bit of a vulnerable question, but I always love to ask it. What's the biggest thing right now that you're looking to improve in the business?
So for me, the biggest is developing and enhancing a team. So what I've learned, because I'm the only child, I've been doing things by myself my whole life. What I've learned is that's a great skill to have, but in order to scale up, in order to expand, I need a team. I need to be able to hire people, bring people in that have a skill set that I may have or may not have in order to get things done. So having a team gives me more space. It gives me more time. It gives me more leverage. I'm able to get more things done because I have people that's on the team that do things that I may know how to do, but they're greater at it. They have a passion in it. For example, going back to balloon and string, I don't like the details when it comes to certain things. So the small little details, the paperwork, that's not my skill set. That's not what I enjoy doing. But I may have somebody that come in to do the small things, do the details. Here's a perfect example. When it comes to podcasting, I have a producer who does all of my editing, and in order to have my editing done, a producer is a lot greater at this than I am. For me, I just want to do the content. My producer, they just want to edit it. So that's an example of making those changes by hiring a team, bringing somebody in to help me help myself.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool, man. What's your biggest, on the flip side of that, what's the biggest thing that you're proud of that you've achieved so far in your business?
Well, I'm proud of me, to be honest. I'm proud of me. And the reason I say that, I became entrepreneur a little later, and later in life, meaning, I have a PhD. I've been working as a clinician. I've been working as a counselor educator for years. And for me, and I'm sure several listeners, I believed what I was taught growing up, get a good job, good education, go to college. I did all of that at the
Mm.
highest level. And even after doing all that, I didn't have the financial freedom that I expected, that I wanted. And that meant I had to do something different. So moving into this entrepreneurial space was something totally different. A lot of vulnerability, a lot of shifts, a lot of being uncomfortable, but I had to do that in order for me to become who I am now. So I'm proud of who I am by being able to pivot and not get caught up on what I was taught and told, but to move into a place and space that's different to help me help myself.
Yeah, man. I love that answer. That's the first time anyone's answered that question in that way. But I think it's such a great thing because a couple things. One, I think we're afraid to give that answer because it sounds egotistical oftentimes, and we're taught growing up, to be meek and humble and all those things.
Mm.
At least in most Western civilizations. I don't know about other types of cultures, but to actually be proud of where we are right now, I think is one of the most incredible, freeing, liberating things. It doesn't mean that we're all that we've arrived and all, it's what I've found is that the more we learn, the more we realize we don't know. But to be
Yes.
able to go, do you know what? I'm proud of where I am. There's so much more to go and achieve. So I love that answer, man. Such a
Thank
such a
you.
really powerful answer. Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, we're gonna say something else, Jason.
Yeah, and hearing it back, like hearing your feedback, I'm now looking at it from a different perspective because I've never considered this being different, or unique, and it's so real because I know who I've been. I don't know who I'm becoming. I'm learning about this different version, going back to those three parallels. So my future self is who I'm trying to get to know every day. My past self, my old self, I know him well, and he's usually in the way. my, my past self is in the way. My future self, it's on his way, and my current self is confused. So being able to continue to grow and learn and be this version of myself, I'm proud of it because I never expected I would be here. Never thought I would be
Yeah.
here. To be where I am and accomplish what I have, I can't believe it. So yes, that's where I'm proud of, and that's internal, and to me, that's how my
Mm.
light shines, and other people see that as well.
Yeah. The distinction around that to be able to see like your past self, your current self, and your future self, I think can really help a lot of people out as well. Because as you said, when you look at it, when you can step back and kind of see those three things, it allows you to actually see full perspective and go and what you said there was amazing. Yeah, my past self usually just gets in the way. But we get so stuck into the past self, we don't realize we're actually getting in the way. And so having that wider perspective is amazing, man. So I love that. Such great
Thank
insight.
you.
Well, over the next 2 to 3 years of the business, what are your goals? What would you like to achieve?
Honestly, I've moved away, and this is again me being proud. I've moved away from the goals that for many of us is what's most important, such as people, places, and things. It could be money, it could be position, role, rank, title. For me, I don't have that anymore. It's every day is a dream. So to be able to do what I love and do what I enjoy and help other people, like the goal is to continue doing this. So I don't really have a bar. I'm trying to accomplish this or that because I did it. Everything that I ever wanted to accomplish, I did it. So this is extra. So I feel like I'm kind of cheating in life, where it's like I've had
Yeah.
a career, I've had all these things, I've chased all these things, and now I'm in a place and space in my life where I'm attracting a lot of things. Even being on this show and being where I am, like this was an attraction. Like Jason to Jason was an attraction that happened where
Yeah.
we attracted into each other's life because of who we are. To me, the experiences are greater than things. So that's what I'm attracting now. That's what my goals are, but I don't really consider those goals because it's what's coming to me. What is it that I want? What is it that I like? And I'm attracting it. So that's been my method of success is who I am and where I am now. I can't believe it. So I wonder what this is going to look like throughout the rest of my life because I feel like
Mm.
this is my fourth or fifth life at this point in time in my career.
Yeah.
So what does this look like? What is it going to unfold into? Because to me, the people, places, and things are based off of the being, meaning the person who I am. So the more I keep becoming him, uh, you know, HIM, all caps, no blue hat. The more I become that person, the more I'm going to attract exactly what I'm supposed to have. And to me, that's what success is from here on out.
Yeah, love that, dude. Amazing. Amazing. I love it. Well, for people that are wanting to get in touch with you, learn a little bit more about what you do and maybe how you can help them, what's the best way for them to do that?
The easiest, I'm Googleable now. So Dr. Jason Branch on Google, or you can reach me on my website, www.drjbranch.com, or email drj@drjbranch.com. So anyone who's interested in connecting, anywhere I can support, feel free to reach out.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, definitely recommend everyone reach out to Jason, have a chat with him if you feel like what he does is something that can benefit you in your business or career. So Jason, thanks so much for being on the show, man. Really appreciate you taking the time and getting up so early for being on the show as well. It's very early where you are. So thank you for that. And as a reminder, everyone listening, this show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way established businesses are creating a reliable acquisition channel of conversations with their ideal prospects that doesn't rely on any of the old, ineffective traditional marketing methods that everybody hates. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn to have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. The link to that will be in the show notes below. And until next episode, stay inspired.